Christ is risen indeed. And we welcome you to this service for Easter. Just to let you know that this service has been pre-recorded, and just to let you know that we're not here along with other people in other churches. They're not in their churches today, but staying home and safe. So please don't show up. But join us as we worship God on this very special day.
This Easter celebration is not like ones we've known. We pray in isolation. We sing the hymns alone. We're distant from our neighbors, from worship leaders too. Few flowers grace the chancel to set a festive mood.
No gathered choirs are singing. Few banners lead the way. O God of love and promise, where's joy this Easter day? With sanctuaries empty, may homes become the place we ponder resurrection and celebrate your grace.
Our joy won't come from fellowship that's in a crowded room, but from the news of women who saw the empty tomb. Our joys come from disciples who ran in haste to see, who heard that Christ is risen, and they, by grace, believe.
In all the grief and suffering, may we remember well, Christ suffered crucifixion and faced the powers of hell. Each Easter bears the promise, Christ rose that glorious day. Now nothing in creation can keep your love away.
We thank you that on Easter, your church is blessed to be a scattered, faithful body that's doing ministry. In homes and in places of help and healing too, we live the Easter message by gladly serving you.
Matthew 28, verses 1 to 10 for Easter. After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord, descending from heaven, came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing white as snow. For fear of him, the guards shook and became like dead men. But the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised, as he said. Come, see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has been raised from the dead, and indeed he is going ahead of you to Galilee, where you will see him. This is my message for you." So they left the tomb quickly with fear and great joy and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly, Jesus met them and said, "Greetings." And they came to him, took hold of his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me." The word of the Lord.
David the Caston tells a story of when he and his youngest daughter were walking through a store a few weeks before Easter. She said, "Look at all this stuff. Nothing but candy and bunnies. I'll bet there's not a tomb for sale anywhere in this store." Now that's interesting. She mentioned a tomb rather than a cross, an empty cross, or an egg or a lily as a symbol for Easter. Yes, Jesus' body was placed in a tomb, and in the minds of those close to him, that's where he was going to stay. But they found the tomb empty on Easter. David the Caston's daughter had probably seen a lifetime of church bulletin covers and banners depicting an empty tomb. The empty tomb has a much stronger impact on us than pictures of lilies and brass horns. The empty tomb is a much more appropriate symbol for this particular Easter because of the killing virus. The pews are empty, the choir loft quiet, the organ's silent, and the pulpit's empty across the world. A couple people may have ventured into the pre-dawn to the Village Hill Cemetery where we normally have a sunrise service, but there was no formal service there. Just the awe and quiet reverence in their hearts. As we sit in our homes and keeping our social distance, we may feel in tune by a feeling of doom as this virus haunts us with its rising death toll and the havoc it's causing all of our lives. And yes, we may be praying for all those who are out there helping everyone, the first responders, the doctors, the nurses, the hospital staff, the National Guard men and women, all the grocery store and convenience store workers, all the restaurant workers and all those at the bank, and all those who are out finding creative and caring ways to help. They are putting themselves and their families at risk and deserve our heartfelt gratitude and our very real support. Yes, this is a scary time, a very scary time. But as we know today, the Easter tomb is an empty tomb, and the message given to the women at dawn is given to us today, even in our empty churches. Do not be afraid. He is risen. That's our story this Easter. We will be delivered from that which entombs us. Whatever it throws at us, we will get through this pandemic together. And we will do so with the love of God, the example of Jesus, and our love for our neighbors as our God. So be it. Amen.
This is a poem of comfort from Wendell Berry. The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting for their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
Do not be afraid. Jesus is risen. Know that Jesus is alive. He is in our homes, on our streets, in our ambulances, in our hospitals, in our markets, in our prisons, in our restaurants, everywhere, even in our walks, solitary walks. He is alive in our hearts as we strive to take care of our families, friends, and neighbors from a distance, yet simply and very creatively. The next time we gather here as the body of Christ with a full church, we will sing again. Christ the Lord is risen today. Yes, Jesus is alive, and so are we.